building a content model to help you to close higher paying clients. Now in this video, in a minute, I'm going to take you through a model builder. Now essentially we have content, and then we have three types of content that we need to be producing. Unfortunately, nowadays in this chase for virality, a lot of coaches are just going for the attention grabbing, fun content that brings people into their page. However, people that are going to pay more don't just need to be entertained. They need to be educated. They need to have their beliefs broken, and they need to know that you can help them. And there are people like them that you've worked with. That's the difference between getting somebody on a sales call that can afford you and somebody coming on a sales call that now knows you, likes you, and is prepared to pay whatever it takes to get the outcome. So I'm going to take you through the model now, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, and here is the model. Now I'm really looking forward to taking you through this, because in the online fitness space right now, there's still a lot of confusion. There's a lot of coaches thinking that the content game is all about virality, but there's still a lot of coaches with large followings, not got a lot of clients, or they've got a lot of clients, but they're not the right clients. There's a lot of coaches that are chasing virality that are getting no engagement and just wonder, how long am I going to be able to keep doing this with very, very few clients that are coming into the program? Now, here's something I want you to think about. What are you trying to build? Are you trying to build a business that's just got a lot of clients, a lot of random different people to just make money? Or are you trying to build a brand where you get to coach the right clients that relate to your skill set, your expertise, your knowledge, the ability to produce results? That's what I scaled my influence to do, working with the right people. You know, as a business coach, I work with skilled coaches who desperately want to build a business, but they're focusing all the time on coaching, but they're lacking the business skills to develop, to build, and scale. I'm not looking for everybody. So the reason I've just told you that is because my marketing and my content and my strategy with my content has to be directed towards who I want to work with. My model is not to just help people make money and build an online business. It's to help people know how to run a business that's going to be here for 5 to 10 years, a business that's got solid systems in, a business that most coaches that try and scale too fast lose very quickly. I'm trying to be the hand on a coach's shoulder, guiding them through their journey, not just showing them how to do marketing tactics to make money. Why do I share that with you? Because across everything that I do, and the model I'm going to share with you in a second, is helping you to understand who I am, helping you to understand what obstacles and challenges I help coaches overcome, and then also giving you a glimpse into my life, how I operate, how I run my life. And then finally, what I believe to be true about the industry, what I disagree with the industry. And then on top of that, who do I help? The results that I achieve. So if you think about that, there's like a multifaceted thought process to try and cover every base that a coach like you constantly thinks about on a day-to-day basis. And the more that you embed yourself in my world, the more that you get to know me, you like me, you trust me. And then ultimately, if anybody comes towards our application process or speaks to one of my team, there's a stronger chance of you coming into our world, wanting to know more about our world, and ultimately, then we can help you. And coaches miss out this aspect of the marketing. They think, well, if I just go viral and I get as many followers as I can, they will transfer into cash. But I could do that. I could just go as viral as hell, tell everybody I help people build online businesses, but I don't end up with the right clients. And the reason why I spent a few minutes just explaining that concept is it's the concept I'm going to teach you today. Now, I've been doing this for over a decade, teaching business, but I've been a coach for 25 years. My reputation was so solid for 15 years as a professional coach because I was so focused on who, what, my beliefs, and the results I was achieving. And these are the keys to building a high value, high charging coaching brand, because a high charging coaching brand gets you the right types of clients, refer the right types of clients, and you end up with this perfect pool of clientele. So ultimately what we're going to be talking about today is, how do you make all this happen? How do you bring this together? So your content strategy attracts the right types of people. And guess what? You don't need thousands and thousands of followers. In our build program for coaches under 8,000 per month, a lot of them have 2 to 3 to 4 and even under 2,000 followers. But what they do with those followers is they make sure that they are so embedded in their world, and they know them, they like them, they trust them, they believe in them, that whenever they do speak to them, whether it's through messaging or through paid advertising or through lead magnets, that prospect is drawn closer and closer and closer to the brand. How do you do that? Well, you use a top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel strategy. Instead of every single post that I need to do needs to go viral. Now, there's something as a company we call viral for you. Viral for you is if your posts generally get 2,000 views on a reel and you get a reel that gets 10 to 11,000, that's viral for you. Doesn't mean it's gone viral. Now, there are some people that are focusing on their businesses just going viral. What we're going to talk about today is, can we get more people to see you, which is what we call top of funnel. Can we get more eyeballs, more awareness, more engagement? And very often there's a specific type of content that would get that level of attention. Then there is what we call middle of the funnel content in the bottom left. And the middle of the funnel content is where we've attracted all these people into our world, and now they don't really know much about us. So we start to educate a little bit more. We start to teach things, and we start to highlight the beliefs that people have, the challenges and obstacles that people face. And that's at this point where we're teaching subjects, educating people, which is what great coaches do. And a lot of great coaches are doing what we call top of funnel, entertainment, awareness, getting a lot of followers on their page, but they don't do anything to convert that level of follower into, I really like what this person's all about, because the top of funnel stuff, the attention stuff, no one really knows them. And then we have what's called the bottom of funnel, the BOF, the bottom of funnel. And that's where anybody that's been following you for a little while, embedding themselves in your content, gets to suddenly see what it is that you do. The result. You only got to go to my Instagram page to see the level of results that I help people to achieve. Myself and my team help people to achieve. Now, if you've joined my page through something that got a lot of reach, you landed on my page, but then you're able to establish immediately, is this the type of stuff I gel with? Does Mark's values align with me? Because that's what people are ultimately saying. Is this addressing some of the challenges or obstacles or beliefs that I have in my business right now? And then, can these guys get results? So at the moment, we're having coaches spend 70 to 80% of their time trying to do top of funnel and then posting, 10 to 20% results and then the occasional educational piece of content, right? Because everybody's trying to get the views, the likes, the saves. They're all valuable. But a large percentage of the content is going towards what we call the top of funnel. Very, very few coaches are spending a lot of their time showcasing what they do. And not enough coaches are spending enough time educating their audience. So it's all a little bit skewed. Now, I will just take this off for a second. How does it really need to look for your business to move forward? Well, before we go there, I want to just break down every single layer. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And then we'll come back to this diagram and look at what the percentages really need to be. Now, what we have here is we have the three categories. We have top of funnel, which is more capturing attention. Can you get more people to see this type of content? And you've only got to go through my reels to see which of my reels get 7, 10, 15,000 plays versus the reels that get slightly lower. And that's because when I'm being bold, when I'm calling out parts of the fitness industry, when I'm being quite polarizing against what I see other mentors do, etc., or I'm sharing things about whether it's my training. Training always gets a lot of views for me. My family get a lot of views for me. And when I'm being quite objectionable to certain things that I see going on in the industry, it gets a lot of attention. And I consciously think, what type of content can be bold, opinionated, polarizing, or having opinions, or even something like whether it's my physique or my family that would get me the most amount of views. I mean, to be honest, to the fitness industry, a lot of the opinions about personal development and helping coaches overcome a lot of the challenges themselves are something that differentiate me and get me a lot of views. So that is the top of funnel. So if you think about the top of funnel, I'm just going to draw a funnel here for a second. If you think that your best ready buyers are at the bottom, and then this broad gap along the top is your top of funnel. So when you are trying to create top of funnel content, it's very, very broad. Okay. You're not polarizing. You're not getting right down to the nitty gritty of specific exercises or specific beliefs. It could be quite a broad discussion. So if I talk to the whole of the fitness industry and then I talk about sales closing and how to deal with a particular objection on a sales call, it makes sense that not many people are going to be bothered about the sales call. However, they are very interested in my broad education about a particular or a broad opinion about the fitness industry. So when people are sharing bold opinions, being polarizing, challenging common beliefs in the industry, these things all draw people in, and they will drive up views, engagement, likes, and saves. Then we have the middle of funnel. Now, think about this. When people find out about you, when they learn more about you, about your beliefs, about your polarity, and you see a lot of people, a lot of attention, they have put their physiques out there, but you'll say, but I don't really know them. I don't really know what they're all about. I don't really know anything about their model, their methodology. Now, one of the things that differentiates us to any other business coaching program is not the marketing and the lead generation. I mean, at the end of the day, that's a given. It's like if you're really bothered about the type of nutrition and training program that a coach that's got an amazing reputation writes, then you've really not involved yourself in the business. So if people say, what type of lead generation strategies do you use, Mark? What type of email? Like, that doesn't matter. That stuff's easy to teach. It's who you become and your behaviors that's hard to overcome. And that's what we're specialists at. Teaching you to stay aligned so you can remain focused on your business and learn the entrepreneurial skills to have a business for the next 5 to 10 years. I'm going to stop the video just for 2 seconds because I've got a free gift for you. Now, I created a 5-part mini-series called the Online Coach Income Accelerator. And in this video series, I teach you the incredible opportunities that lie ahead for online fitness coaches today. I then talk to you about how to attract, engage, and market to your dream customers. Now, when you have these dream prospects in sight, I then teach you how to land the high-paying clients. Now, to download this, to get immediate access, all you need to do is to click the link in the bio, and you'll receive immediate access as soon as you submit your details. I'll see you there. That's the most important thing. So I teach coaches about that. I educate. I'll teach particular subjects. This is what you need to do. You need to teach. Give people things that they can take away, strategies, and making sure that when you have your viewpoint and you're sharing information in the middle of the funnel, which is called the educational authority section, you're positioning yourself as a specialist or an expert at solving this particular problem for your audience. Very, very simple. And that could be through case studies, for example, even in the middle of the funnel. We'll talk about that in the bottom of the funnel in a minute. It could be through explaining how someone or somebody could overcome a particular belief or challenge or obstacle. So you're always talking about how do you solve things. You'll see people doing exercise and they'll talk about how they improve their exercise or talk about something to do with nutrition. So now you've got your attention grabbing top of funnel, you've got your educational, more authoritative piece, and even the middle of funnel could be you going to events, you could be things you've learned, all of these things that increase what we call the credibility stack, stacking up your levels of credibility. And then finally, we've got the bottom of the funnel. Now I'm just going to draw that again. You've brought people into your world here. You've educated them a little bit more. And then we've got a smaller pool of people at the bottom, and they are the people that will ultimately turn into clients. So that's where we need to focus. Now, the problem for a lot of coaches is they don't focus here. They don't spend enough time here. They don't spend enough time talking about wins, talking about case studies, talking about, actually promoting the thing that they have that they sell. So I ask you, across 7 to 9 posts that you post a week on your socials, how many of those have got social proof? How many of your stories have got social proof? Because it's not until somebody hears about somebody else that's been in their shoes, that's walked in their shoes, it's not until people see the results or case studies or testimonials or you talking about somebody in your stories that they go, I think I'd seen enough. Where's the link in the bio? They've given me a call to action. Right, I'm going to go. Or they've got an event coming up. Or they've got a challenge coming up. Whatever it may be. But you've got to share within your stories and on your page. Give people things of value to learn more. You might be talking to somebody in the DMs. Send them a case study. Send them something to learn. You might have a giveaway. You might have a January promotion. This is what we call bottom of the funnel. Now, when we move back to the model, which is a really, really important thing to look at, coaches will often say to me, Mark, what's the best ratio of doing this? And I'll be fully honest with you. For coaches that want to sell coaching at the higher ticket. Now, in the UK, higher ticket's £250, £300 a month, right? Higher ticket. 450s at the high ticket end. But we always tell coaches you shouldn't really be packaging your coaching up for anything less than $250. But to do that, right, to sell for $1,200 to $1,500 for 6 months, you've got to have conviction in your product. You've got to be able to get results. You've got to showcase you've got results. And ultimately, you've got to show people a lot of content that actually helps them to understand you're the logical choice. Now, to get the attention on your page, 30% of your content really needs to be at the top of the funnel, which is not just viral content. It's the type of content you share that gets seen the most. And it's not as specific to the educational level. And then your bottom of funnel is your results, about 20%. Now, the middle of funnel really positions you as an authority. And if you want to be able to charge a higher price for your coaching, you will not obsess over having so much top of funnel that everybody just watches and observes but doesn't integrate. So when somebody finds out about you want to quickly, through the more valuable middle of funnel content, actually bring them into your world and then start indoctrinating them. You're watching, by the way, a YouTube video right now. You're listening to me on the podcast. You must now start thinking, I've listened to enough of my podcast. I really know he could help me. And if that's the case, then I would be guiding you towards the results. You may have seen our results. And then I want to, at some point, get to be the logical step for you to take into our world. So just remember, you've got top of funnel, which is raising more awareness. You've got middle of funnel, which is education and more authority. Okay, there's your 30%. There's your 50%. And there's your 20%. Middle of funnel, and you can say to yourself, where am I missing educational authority posts that's really nurturing and building a relationship up with my audience? Where are my results? Out of a week, 1 to 2 results. They're on my stories. They're on my newsfeed. We're always, as a company, producing results and presenting results. And then I have the more top of funnel content that's less specific, slightly more broad, sharing opinions, being bold and polarizing. And when that makes up that ratio, you'll find that not only are you getting awareness on your page, you are building relationships with people, trust is being built, and as a result of that, when you show people your bottom of funnel content, they invest, they buy. This is the same in the DMs. When you're talking to people in the DMs, when they're getting on sales calls, if they know you, like you, and trust you early enough, it's a done deal. And it means you do not have to be the most highly skilled sales closer in the world, because ultimately, whilst it's still an invaluable skill that you need, if all the work's been done through your content, your marketing, your top, middle, and bottom of funnel, you'll get on a call, they're already pre-sold. So I hope this helped. This is such an important topic for you to understand when it comes to your content, and building a high value and high earning coaching brand that reflects your knowledge, skills, and expertise. Now, at this point, if you found this helpful and you do want some help, you do want to take your business to the next level, and you don't just need the help with your marketing, you actually know that you're ready to become a business owner and truly step into that next level, and put to one side all the poor behaviors and all the identity of a trainer or a coach, and you want to step into that of a business owner, then I'm ready. We're here to help you. And we look forward to speaking to you soon. If you're ready, click the link in the description, take you to the next steps, and I'll see you soon.